Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the amplitude modulation, what we have covered in our theory, and now we are going to see with respect to some experimental works. Okay, the thing is we need to correlate our theory with respect to the practical works. So here some components I have used to get the modulated signal as well as the demodulation, how that modulation happens, how that demodulation happens. This whole part is called as modulator. Okay, is called as modulator, and the left and right hand side, the small circuit diagram is called as demodulator. This is quite familiar to us. This demodulator is also called as envelope detection, because in envelope detection the diode is followed by an RC circuit. Okay, so upper half there is only one diode, so that means half of the complete cycle is going to be obtained at the output of this particular circuit. If it is a two diode, that means a balance of continuous signal is also going to achieve, as well as with the help of this we are going to identify the modulating signal. Okay, for this generation of AM signal we require a modulator. Okay, if I will draw a block diagram, there is a modulator, okay, and in which carrier is provided and modulating signal is provided. Now carrier strength means your FC must be greater than 100 times of FM. Okay, and so that it will carry your modulating signal. Now the modulating signal, as we have considered, it is M of t, this is C of t, and the modulated wave is SAM of t. Okay, now here this modulator in this circuit, if I will correlate, I require modulating signal, I require carrier signal, then I require a modulator who will generate an AM signal. Okay, for that here I have used the modulator is nothing but a nonlinear device. Nonlinear device, here a BJT in a NPN configuration, or it is called as a common emitter configuration. We can use this transistor act as a modulator. So here I am using transistor as a modulator who will mix up or modulate the input message signal with respect to the carrier signal. So here what I have done, here we are using, since it is a common emitter configuration, so we have to take the output in the collector side. Okay, so as you can see, the collector end we are taking that S of t output, and here we are providing M of t. Now the thing is, in base we are providing the carrier signal which strength is 9 volt peak to peak, or it can be a 13 volt peak to peak, and it varies from 300 to 455 kilohertz. That means it is in kilohertz. Now my modulating signal must be in hertz. So let us consider this modulating signal whose strength is 16 volt peak to peak 500 hertz. That means it is 10 times greater, it is a 500 hertz and it is a 455 kilohertz. We can vary this particular frequency. Now the thing is, why this modulating signal amplitude is 16 and this amplitude is 9? Because this 9 volt we are providing to a transistor which will be amplified. Since it is a common emitter configuration, you people know about that amplification factor is beta, which will multiply with your potential, and the output will be amplified. Output will be amplified to a higher value with respect to 16 volt. Now this value also we can measure with respect to the circuit rig up when we are doing in our breadboard. We will see that at the output it will near about 36 to 40 volt, it will be our output at the collector. If I am not providing the message signal at the collector end, I will get the amplification of this 9 volt around 36.40 volt, and that is due to the amplification factor. Here the presence of RC circuit is to identify the frequency component. Now the C will block the DC signal which is going to be, if there is any DC signal provided by the source, it will block it, and it will provide a continuous signal to a transistor through which it will act as a mixer, okay, in which modulating signal is also provided and carrier signal is also provided. So we are getting the output here. So this particular method is called as collector method, okay, and this collector method in which we are extracting the data from the collector, means output is identified at the collector end, okay. So here M of t is provided. This is our S of t modulated signal, which is called as AM signal, and then with the help of this output signal, if I want to extract the modulating signal, here we are using a demodulated circuit. A diode followed by an RC circuit will extract our modulating signal, okay. Now this whole thing we are going to rig up in our breadboard, and then we will execute whether we are getting the AM signal or not. Our carrier signal is higher frequency component with respect to the modulating signal. So let us consider this is C of t with a fixed amplitude which will be amplified. Then let us consider this is my modulating signal. Frequency is less with respect to the carrier, and we will obtain the modulated signal, okay. And this modulated signal is what? The amplitude of carrier is varied in accordance to the amplitude of modulating signal, okay. So this thing we need to observe, and it will relate with respect to your theory what we have discussed in our classes. So here we are basically generating the AM signal, and with the help of that we will decide whether it is a over modulation, whether it is a under modulation, or whether it is a critical modulation with the help of modulation index. MA greater than 1, less than 1, and MA equal to 1. How we are going to calculate this? We are going to calculate MA is equals to E max minus E mean divided by E max plus E mean with the help of this relation. Now if it is less than 1, let us consider if our modulation index we are getting as 0.48, okay, that means it is a 48%, means modulation index or percentage of modulation, that means the presence of modulating information is only 48%. Rest of the percent is only the carrier which does not convey any sort of information, okay. So we have to see whether we are getting less than 1, greater than 1, and equal to 1. When it will happen? MA greater than 1 means if the amplitude of your message signal is greater with respect to the carrier component, if the amplitude of message is greater than carrier. MA less than 1 if amplitude of modulating signal is less with respect to carrier. MA equal to 1, both our amplitude are same, okay. So we will see all these things with respect to the experimental work at the particular output of a collector of a common emitter configuration, okay. So as you can see, this is the whole setup to generate our AM signal, which will be looking like this. The upper one yellow color you can see, that is our modulating signal, and the waveforms which is below it, it is called as a modulated signal. Now this sort of signals, when it is observed when your modulation index is less than 1. If it is equals to 1, these lobes will touch, and if it is greater than 1, that means it will be changes will be taken place, okay. Now we will start with respect to modulating signal step by step. So as you can see, this is a function generator. So this function generator, here we are providing a carrier signal which is a strength of 310.3 kilohertz, okay, with a certain amplitude. Now the frequency what required in a carrier, it must be 100 times greater than that of your modulating signal. Done. So this is my first carrier signal generator. So it will generate my carrier. Next I require a modulating signal. So for that, one more function generator we are using to generate a modulating signal of a strength of 509 Hz, okay, which is quite less with respect to your carrier component, and that to amplitude also we are identifying. Done. Next, this is a small circuit in which what I have drawn in that paper, same circuit we are using. We are using a transistor. Here you can see this is a NPN transistor. Then with the help of this NPN transistor, that RC components are available. This is a capacitor C, this is a resistor R, and there is one more resistor, that is RE, and this is RC. Okay. So this is our RC component, this is a RE component, and with the help of this we have to put our modulating signal with the help of this transformer. Okay. There are two transformers we have seen. So with the help of this we are taking the output of this function generator to this transformer, so that the frequency synchronization can be done and the modulating signal will be provided to the transistor. Okay. And the output of this transistor we are collecting from the collector end. Okay. So modulating signal strength is less as compared to your carrier. So this transistor will play a vital role through which the modulated signal is going to be extracted. Okay. Now as the waveform, sir modulating signal carrier signal थोड़ा दिखाइए ना अलग से. हाँ अलग से. So this will be our modulating signal. So here you can see the amplitude or the maximum value is 5 volt and the frequency is 508.2224 Hertz. Okay. So peak to peak, so voltage is varying from around 18 or 16 you can consider. So here you can see it varies. So it is 17 volt peak to peak. Done. With a frequency of 508.16 kHz. Now we will see the carrier component. So this is the carrier component. Okay. So frequency component is how much, sir? Okay. So here you can see the amplitude of the carrier is 8.4 volt. Okay. And the frequency is 312.5 kilohertz, and this is the oscilloscope, which is called as a digital oscilloscope, or it is also called as DSO, through which we are getting the outputs. So this is the carrier, before one is a modulating signal. Now we will see the output of the collector of this configuration as a modulated signal. Okay. So in this screen you can see there is a modulating signal and there is a modulated signal, and from this modulated signal you can see that peak to peak variations are similar. That modulated wave, the carrier amplitude is varied in accordance to the modulating signal. So carrier amplitude, if it is varying with respect to modulating signal, that means we can say it is a modulated signal. Now here the thing is, here we have considered that amplitude of your carrier is greater with respect to the amplitude of modulating signal. Done. And so that your lobes are quite energized. But if the amplitude of a carrier is reduced, you will see this envelope distortion. Okay, this is the envelope distortion will be occurred if your amplitude of a modulating signal is increased with respect to the carrier. Now in this case we have the amplitude of carrier was decreased with respect to the modulating signal. So this is now the amplitude slightly we are increasing with respect to the modulating signal amplitude of a carrier, due to which our lobes are quite visible, and it is we can say it is an AM signal. Okay, so here you can see that if the modulating signals amplitude we are reducing as compared to our carrier signal, our MA is going to be less than 1. If my modulating signal is going to be increased, MA is going to greater than 1, because MA is having a relation that magnitude of modulating signal divided by magnitude of a carrier signal. So these are the modulated waves through which you can correlate the theoretical idea with respect to the experimental work. This experimental works will be done for you when you come into the communication lab, in which for AM FM generation will be done. For this, only for the sake of making you understand how this carrier signal amplitude and frequency with respect to modulating signal and frequency, how these things are happened. So for this we have recorded for you, and these are the modulated waveforms for AM signal. Okay. Now next we will discuss how to recover the modulating signal from this modulated signal. So for that, as I have explained, that we require an envelope detector. Okay, envelope detector means a small diode followed by an RC circuit. So here you can see that if the modulated signal which I am getting at the output of collector, if I will feed that particular output to the input of this demodulator, the output we will get as our modulating signal. Okay, that we will verify now. So as you can see, this is our diode, okay, which is followed by an RC, R, and this one is C. Okay, parallel combination of RC, and this one is our diode. So output of a diode, you can see first yellow color waveforms are our modulating signal, and this blue color one is our demodulated signal, which is quite similar to our modulating signal. As we have discussed in the class, what we are extracting at the demodulated side, it may not be same as our modulating signal amplitude, but the frequency component what we are getting, it is same, but the amplitude may deteriorate. It requires some amplification process and all, so that we can extract our modulating signal. Frequency same hai na sir? Okay. Okay. So here you can see that yellow line frequency is 490.2 Hz and the blue line frequency is 490.2 Hz. Okay. So that means we are extracting the modulating signal, but the amplitude deteriorates. So this amplitude rectification can be done with the help of some amplification process. So this is the basic method for generation of AM signal and demodulation of AM signal. With the help of which process? With the help of envelope detection process. Okay. So for this it is understood to all. So regarding this we have already discussed the expressions and all. So this is only the lab session in which you are going to identify these waveforms with the help of some circuits. Okay. So this is the basic circuit for AM generation. This is the amplitude modulator. This is our detector circuit followed by an R and C, envelope detector. Okay. This is our modulating signal is considered from here. We are giving the signal from the function generator with a 491 Hz, that is also measured there. Similarly, here it is a carrier component with a frequency of 310.3 kilohertz with a certain amplitude, and then it is modulated. Okay. Now next we will see about the FM generation.